Yeah, we back, man. We back as your boy. Okay, back, aka K Trades, man. We back. So, follow the game plan. You banked, you banked. It's literally that simple, man. It's literally that simple. So, of course, we went over yesterday's video, right? We talked about what? We talked about a pullback after the giant breakout, right? We had the breakout. And remember when I said, hey, we probably don't want to go long right away. Like if it goes under 714, you don't want to go long right away, right? You want to find some support in between 710 and 711, right? That's literally what I said in the video. You can go pull it up, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we the first few hours kind of sideways, which was cool. I wasn't too mad at it, because with consolidation comes expansion, right? So once we started to peep, all right, cool. We're starting to bottom off at the bottom of the selling algo, right? We're like, okay, we're right back in it. So how do we play these? Look at them: break out, retest, push, right? So as far as we know, the market is bullish, right? It's continuing to be bullish. Also, don't mind my bag of food. I just got back from the store, but or my clothes right there. But yeah, so we know the market is bullish as far as we know, right? As far as right now. So if that's the case, then the trend is our friend. So we look to buy calls. I wouldn't necessarily looking to short it, especially because I missed the opening dump anyway. So I woke up around probably like 40 minutes after open anyway. So I was like, I'll just wait for it, right? We got the call entry. Bingo, right? We start to size in. Remember, I always said buy time, because if you look at on the bigger picture, then this could, like I said, this could be a giant breakout, right? And then retest of this zone here, right? Or even this zone here. But how do we know? We got to know. We'll know with time. So of course you want to buy time. So remember I told you yesterday, I do buy zeros once we break levels or get certain key areas of confluence and stuff like that. Once we do kind of get that, okay, cool, I'll buy zeros. But I don't necessarily hold my zeros the longest. I'll hold my ones and twos, a little longer, just to, maximize. Because, the zero DT is you buy one, you get one pullback, you go from 60% to 10, So I didn't want to go green to red. So, and plus I had to sit for a little minute, right? Remember I said patience, patience, patience. So remember, how do we know not to go long from here? Because we did not do what? We did not break down, retest, and continue. All we got was a breakdown, retest, stay around, right? Didn't go lower, didn't go lower, didn't go lower, right? We had a bunch of wicks, but they never actually went lower, never got a close below. So once you start to see that, okay, cool, then you get your bullish, consolidation, right? Remember, like I said, we just had a giant breakout of this level. So as far as we know, the market should respond, bullish to this. So it did, thankfully. We smacked. I think I sold for my last runner was like 100 some percent, but they ended up going to like over 200. I'm like, no, it always does that, man. But it is what it is. You never went broke taking profit. So of course I had to get those out the way. Look, hold on, let me show you. I love, what I'm saying, you gotta put your money where your mouth is, for real. But yeah. So I posted this on Twitter. All right, I said, hey, probably get some calls, right? Some ones and some zeros right here. Literally right there. Timestamped everything. All right. Bang. And then look at it. Not more than 2-3 hours later. Gorgeous. We can't really see it. I don't know why I don't want to. Whatever. Anyway, it's right here. I don't know why I'm trying to show you on the phone. But yeah, so we smacked that. Made sold most at 80% for the calls. Just because, like I said, man, when you get your target, right? Our target was here, back to the upper trend line. So we took it from the bottom trend line, or not top trend line, my fault, the resistance. So we took it from support to resistance. That's it, right? Level to level. So I don't want to be the one caught with my hand in the cookie jar, right? Over here trying to hold, and then you get something like this, right? Which it could have happened, right? I can't tell the future, but I just know, if this, then that. So if we held that, support, then I planned on going long, which I spoke about in the video. So where do we go from here? So main thing to watch for now, obviously, is just a hold of this level, same level, right? So all we need to do tomorrow is see where we land as far as this. I know we have CPI and all this stuff coming up as well, but levels are still the same. It'll just be higher volatility. But as long as this holds, right? Like I said, anything in here, anything holds in here, consolidation, we look good. Even if we get a higher low here, right? A little higher low bottom or something like that. Yeah, buy time, be careful, because like I said, we're still at all-time highs. So it's going to be a little tricky. So remember, market previous day's close, right? If we gap over that, make sure we hold it 30 minutes or higher, right? Even if we kind of dip below, zoom out, right? Basically what happened here, right? If you were too zoomed in on the 1 minute and the 5, all you saw was just chop, 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 right? But if you zoomed out to the 15 and the 30, look, all you saw was a wick, a higher low, right? An equal low, got a new high, and then a higher low. So all I saw was a low, a higher low, and a higher low out of support. So, higher lows and high highs is what we want to see in a bull market. So with that being said, obviously, like I said, it's easier to buy some calls. So same thing applies tomorrow. So previous day's close, if we do hold that, right, bottom, double bottom, triple, whatever, if they want to chop here for a while, whatever, we just need to make sure that you're holding and creating higher floors, right? So as long as we can do that, get back above 712.50 would be my best. Really kind of today's, or not today's open, but yeah, right here. So yeah, same levels, 712.40. So if we get above that, hold, right, we push back up into here. And then of course, if we can get past, our 714, then we still have, new highs and new levels that we'll play as they go along, right? I didn't go live again today. Like I said, I'm super tired, catching up with school, stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not gonna forget about y'all, so I'm gonna get back on there. So don't even trip. But downside, let's watch for downside, right? Worst case, boom, let's say this is the gap up scenario. If we gap up, right, we don't hold previous day's close, look for us to come back down, retest that 710.70. So really the same area that we couldn't, took us a while to kind of get back above. So this would be a nice little breakout retest as well, right? Remember, breakout, retest. And if we get that continuation back above previous day's close, you can go long with the takeout, this high. So that'll be game plan 1 if we cannot hold, right? If we do hold, I'm sorry. If we can't hold, right, and we do get below 710.75, again, watch for yesterday's lows, right? If we continue down below that, obviously we have another gap to close at 708.30. I keep forgetting that's there, but yeah, that's there. Let me actually mark that right now. And it's a small one, but right, a gap nonetheless. Right, it's just we still got to mark it. You never know. So a gap nonetheless right here. If that fills, obviously you can watch for a gap fill reversal. At that possible level. If we get back above, 709, push back up. Same thing. Wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse. Oh shoot! And got rid of the gap. But not so anyway. So yeah. So that's another game plan. If we close the gap and we cannot reclaim, right? Again, like I said, just keep watching it for more downside. 706, anything under 706, 705, 702, 700, lower. And I do think, with the monthly closes coming up. So the day before, we have that monthly day. I'm gonna probably be live towards after lunch to the end of the day, because that's when we'll probably get more volatility. So watch out for some big moves. End of the month is always gonna be a fun close, right? Save your buying power, right? Don't try to catch everything in the first few hours. I know we got data, CPI, we got all kind of stuff, coming out. So be patient with it. Keep the same levels, upside, downside, right? Uptown, downtown, same vibes. You feel me? And look, we're also made sense, right? So remember, we still have our zones, right? Our chop zones. Chop. Breakout, retest. All right. So if this holds, remember when I said in the video, to confirm that something is turning from resistance to support, we need to at least test it, right? We need to try to fail it. That's why I said yesterday, you want to try to play the failure. You want to try to catch the failures, because, the first bounce, it could just be, like I said, the instant hostile reaction. But if you roll, you're like, oh, dang, I got in, bam. So give it some time. That's why I said I'm always going to look for, the bottom or inverse head and shoulder, or something to tell me that, hey, this new level that we used to bump our heads at, now we're no longer bumping our heads, right? Oh, we're kind of holding, right? We can push back up. So basically kind of what happened today. Like I said, yeah, we'll keep it super simple, man. Like I said, always keep it simple, bro. You don't need to do too much, man. Just and you can just be consistently, catching plays, regardless of whether people say it's chop or whether people, what I'm saying? If you zoom out, there's always gonna be a play, right? If you just gotta wait a little longer, right? Sometimes you just gotta wait. Or some days there ain't, right? Some days it literally just goes barcode, but for the most part, we'll be able to catch something. But we do kind of need like a little head and shoulder right here, a little key. And then maybe we get a little another one right here, retest, push back up 713 over that, 714, back up 718. Oh yeah, I'm liking that. So yeah, if that plays out tomorrow, definitely we'll catch that on live as well. But yeah, how we looking? 9 minutes, right? I don't like to go over 10 minutes. I still gotta eat food and clean up. See my laundry right here. I ain't done no laundry. Yeah, well, I just did the laundry. It's clean. Counter's clean too. So, but yeah, gotta do that, and then probably look at some parlays, do some more gambling. But yeah, keep it simple, have fun, keep banking. We're gonna make some more money every day this week. You know how we do it. See ya.